I knew for sure that what I was selling in 1980, what I was sniffing in 79, 80, and all that, was not what they were selling in 87, 86. That wasn't the same shit.
Well, in 80,
it wasn't the same shit.
5 or so, the U.S. kind of really effectively restricted ether.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that cocaine was being processed did change.
Yep, that's right. It was obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked with it. I'd always worked with it. So when I stopped, and a couple of years later, the price started dropping. So in 80, it was 60,000. In 87, it was 13,000. You know, not in New York. In New York, it was like 16. In Miami, it was like 13. You know, and I was like, this is crazy. Like I'm buying them, but I'm just still like, I know, and it's good. You know, you had. But
it was really for cooking. Like it was for making into crack almost.
Not all. There were certain types. La Reina was more like universal, sniffing, shooting, cooking. La Reina, the queen. That was.
And when people don't know, when you're calling a cocaine by brand, so just like on the street level, heroin, a $10 bag of heroin would be stamped Blue Magic or something. The kilos of cocaine coming from Colombia would have a brand name, and they would say what supplier and what lab they came from, so they might be different quality.
It would be. So La Reina came from Cali cartel. Centavo came from, Medellin is La Reina. Centavo was Cali, right? The Centavo was definitely far more conducive to cooking, right? You always got back more volume with Centavo.
Wow, so you noticed that kind of a difference.
It was an exponential difference.
Oh, that's interesting.
With the La Reina, it came back, like Centavo would come back like a very off-whitish, like these walls, very off-whitish, yellowish. La Reina came back.
That butter, as
it was almost translucent. It was this white, porcelain-like white, almost translucent, right? And very hard.
So there was
to the point where it dries. When this shit dries, you crack, like I had to cook like 250 grams at a time, something like that, right? And when you crack it, it would be like breaking a plate, almost like snap. But with Centavo, not as much.
So
not as much.
It was clear that there was
but it was holding more of the baking soda. If you take 250 grams of Centavo, and the cocaine, and then you, for 250 grams, put like 124 grams of baking soda, right? Now the baking soda is supposed to react in a way where it removes the impurities and then evaporates. Centavo held on to the baking soda, interacted with it, mixed it so that it wouldn't be baking soda patches or pockets anywhere, whatever. It'd be like mixed in, but it would hold on to it. So you're talking about 250 grams of cocaine, put powdered, rock, whatever, put into, when I say rock, I mean,
crack.
No, you take it, like when you open the key, the shit would be
chunks. Yeah.
It would be like in chunks because it's pressed. It's really, really tight. It's hard. It's like really fucking hard. So you take 250 grams, cracked up, crack off the key, whatever, and drop it in the thing, and take 124 grams of baking soda, you might give back 325 grams.
So you're
of crack.
Yeah.
Like, so you're up 75 grams.
And that's when the price
that you can sell. It was
good.
Yeah, and it was top quality. You know what I mean? So yeah, like that there. So but that I'm talking about now, like this is like 85, 86. This is, you know what I mean? This is when it's really starting to pop, and like everybody is a fucking crack deal or a crackhead.
So the kilos you were getting were marked, or you saw this at other places and people told you about this, or like when you would buy a kilo, it would say Centavo or La Reina?
Yeah, your keys are marked. You get stamps on them. It's either on the wrapping. It's usually pressed into the.
So that
thing.
means you're getting it directly from someone who was getting it from Colombia.
Yeah.
Pressed and rewrapped.
Yeah. With me, but I was born into an organization, so you know, my access is not like a regular person's access.
Once you guys or you shifted into cocaine, you had better sources than most. Let's just
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I never went to 160th Street, or I never went and bought nothing from none of them guys in them buildings on them streets. I never did that.
Yeah.
Ever. That was an opportunity for something calamitous to happen, bro. Absolutely. And you know, people did it and whatever, but a lot of times people got jammed. Either coming in, going out, get robbed, you got sold some bullshit, whatever. It's a million people out there doing it. So some people legit, some people not. Some people were legit and started smoking, got cut the fuck off, but they got a reputation. So they beat people for months before people realized that they beating them. You know what I mean? First you lose your connect. So then because you got a clientele, you know, the guy over here who you were competing against and the guy over here you're competing against, now they're willing to feed your situation because it's now whatever they're doing plus what you were capable of doing, and they just keep their eye on you until you beat them eventually. And then this guy fucks with you. And you know, and you'll do more good than harm, whatever. So that'll go on for a while, and then finally you won't be able to get anything from anybody, but you've been maintaining with your problem, your smoking or whatever for this whole period of time. So still people come to see you. Now that you have access to nothing, and now you start selling motherfuckers, you know, bags of baking soda and you know all these other things that act like cocaine when they're cooked and all kind of stuff, but they're not. It's just like cuts and derivatives and shit that they get from stores. You know, but that was happening all the time. Like, I never dealt with shit like that because I had infrastructure, you know?
So, at what point did you venture off to being in Jamaica, Queens, South Jamaica, Queens?
In 84, this is in Raised by Wolves. In 84, older homie of mine, he came, his mother and my mother lived in the same building. We were like family and shit.
Harlem?
No, this is in the Bronx.
Oh.
And, you know, he came to see her, whatever, and he called me out the window. Told me, you know, I got something, you know, to put you on to, you know. So I come downstairs, I talk to him, whatever. He's like, yo, I'm out there in Queens, out there in Jamaica, Queens. You know, at this time now, this is 84. So crack is still not, most people are still selling cocaine because the price for cocaine has dropped where a lot of people are able to get, you know, a key at this point might be 25,000 maybe, right? But based on the market,
still sell it for.
It's still selling. You're still getting $100 a gram, you know, shit like that, right? So you're not paying $60,000, which is at $60,000 for a key. You're talking about $60 a gram,
yeah.
Right? Which you cut in half or whatever, or back then 2 times, 3 times. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever. I'm gonna turn 1 gram into 4, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm paying $6 a gram, but at the point which you're paying, you know, $20 a gram, and you're still able to turn it into, you know, 3 grams at $100 per gram in the market, you're killing them. You know what I mean? So this is that period. So we have these $10 bottles that are like the size of this big, right? And about half the width of my finger. And they are this pure powdered glass, little caps on them, whatever, like the little perfume bottles. And you're selling those for $10. Raised by Wolves, inside the life and mind of a guerrilla hustler. Intro. As a child, in the constant presence of gangsters, I overheard a lot. I remember hearing it said that it's better to be feared than to be loved. I remember gangsters who tried to live on love, and I remember that it almost always ended badly for them. But then, many of the feared didn't fare too well either. I remember an afternoon in a Harlem classroom long ago, after collecting a writing assignment from me. My first grade teacher, whose name I no longer recall, said, "You write well, Cavario. You could be a writer." I remember sneering and remarking, "A writer? I'm going to be a gangster."